Welcome to the More For Me podcast by Kat Nicole, yours truly. Thank you for tuning in today, whether you're on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. It's a privilege and an honor to have you join me here in the studio. So let's get this thing rolling. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a little bit, kind of miss you. What's going on here? Well, it just so happens I'm not recording on my standard recording day, so that's why it feels like it's been a little bit longer since we last talked. So I don't know what day you're watching or listening on, but it's cool to be able to come together. When I have these conversations, I was I don't remember who I was telling actually, guys, but I was talking to somebody and I was telling them that the feel of the podcast, that for me, kind of trying to get to that place, find my groove, my mojo, whatever you want to call it. But to settle in where these are just like conversations with one of my homies, if you will, a friend. That's what I call friends, homies. Friend is a term that's used and abused so much that those that are near and dear to my heart, they get the badge of honor of being my homies. So I'm talking to one of my homies and we have conversations where I go in and be like, man, she going off, where I'm being silly, goofy, can't focus, I'm sad, I'm having a hard time. We talk about everything. So that's what I want this podcast to be like. I sit down and I share with one of my homies and we enjoy. It's a two-way street. I give, but I also receive. So hopefully that's exactly what you've been experiencing thus far. If not, hang on for this journey. You're going to get there. Today, I was thinking, and I'm just really living out loud as we do this podcast and the whole Kat Nicole thing. And I wanted to talk to you guys about time. And it's funny because all these songs rolling through my head about time. You got a little Stevie Wonder, got a little Jay-Z. And I reference rap a whole lot, but I'm not really a rap head. I just happen to know some rap songs and I hang on to some lyrics. I also freestyle in my spare time. I spit bars. French is a hater about it, but I come with these bars. I'm lying about my corner of my eye, he's still hating right now, but I do bring that heat. At least I think I do. But when I think about time, man, there's so much stuff that's been said about time. So you may be thinking to yourself, what else in the world can we hear about time? Come on, man, for real? You got something to say about time? Yep, I do. When you think about it, though, there's everybody talks about time biblically, right? You have the Songs of Solomon. Solomon is the wisest man to ever live. He spits fire about wisdom and time as a whole in the book of Ecclesiastes. So he drops mad knowledge about time. But you look all the way, you can go down to basic cliches. Time is of the essence. Time is money. You have all these things. Hickory dickory dock. That's about a clock. It's related to time, right? But everybody's saying something about time, gurus and wise ones. And if I'm gonna be honest, time is actually one of my struggles, if you will. So why is time a struggle for me? Well, I am a recovering control freak. I've shared that before, but I'm recovering, still in process. But I feel that there should be more time. And time is a finite resource. Literally, there's never going to be more time, but I want more of it. And then I kind of process, turn it around in my head, flip it over a couple times. Man, I wish there were more hours in the day. Really? I think that's a terrible request. And some people ask, why aren't there more hours in the day? That's a terrible question. Why would I want more hours in a day? For me at this stage in my life, do you know what that means? That means that I have additional opportunities, more time to do, to go, to accomplish, and to be tired. Because I think that if I had more time, I would just do more stuff. And then I would just be tired. One of the saddest things that I can recall at this very moment that I said literally, and I wrote it down, make sure I didn't get it wrong, but tired is my new state of being. How you doing? I'm tired, which is my new state of being. That's a terrible thing to think. And since I've been saying it post children, I kind of seem like I'm tired all the time. Well, today is a new day and I should never, ever, ever say that again. If you hear me say it, just slap me on the hand or send me a sad face emoji or something like that. Tell me to straighten up and get it together. But no, I don't just want to be tired. And in order to accomplish this change, I think some things have to change with me. And I think that's my mind. I have to change my mind about that thing, right? Is that enough? No, not really, because I probably have thought different before, but really to change my perspective. So it's connected to my mind and to my heart. I really need to change my perspective on the subject matter about time. And so today, besides just moaning about time and there not being enough time, it's like, what do we do with time? We're going to start at like a really basic and simple level, right? People will tell you when you look at your time, all these things you need to do, the best way to utilize it. The most CEOs get up at 5 a.m. and the most successful people read a book a week, and they're giving you all these nuggets and nuances of what you should do with your life and in your life to be successful, effective, the best, blah, 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 blah. But I just want to start real basic and where we are. And so I came up with 5 things. We know I like 5. There's something about that 5. But I came up with 5 things that I want us to actively journey together to do as we change our perspective, change our mind about time. So what are those things? Step 1, understand the value of time. Knowledge is power. So we want to understand, get to know what is the value of time. We mentioned cliches before, like time is money. Time is of the essence. Some people will tell you to know what your time is worth, and they'll equate, money to value, and for you to be able to calculate and say that per hour, what would I be paid? So if I sit and talk with you for an hour, what is that costing me? Well, if I could earning capacity, factor in all these things, not just what my job pays me, but whatever complex equation, carry the 3, divide by 2, what's the square root of 167? Like once you do all that, then I can say, okay, my time's worth $225 arbitrarily per hour. Is that how you value your time? Not necessarily, but some will guide that way. But how do you value? What is the value of time as a whole? Like, how do you see it? What's the point of it? Is it just more opportunities to do stuff, to be tortured? But you have to figure out for yourself, like, what is the value that you're seeing in time? I'm looking biblically, and I believe that everything that God gives us is an opportunity for him to get glory. So for me and my perspective, understanding the value of time is equating to opportunities for God to get glory out of my life. So my lifespan, if you will, that's what it is. So that's the value of time, God getting glory. Pretty simple for me, and we can go more nuanced in that understanding and definition. But what is the value of time? What does that mean for you? Number 2, understand what you do with your time. Where are you right now? We talked about if I can't be honest with myself, I can't be honest with God. And we have to be honest with ourselves, and we should be honest with God. But what do I do with my time right now? I'm going to be honest. This is reality. I am where I am. What do I do with my time? Do I sleep most of the day? Do I eat? Do I gossip? Do I talk about other people? Am I on social media? Do I work? Do I work out? Whatever it is, do I pick my nose? Like, what do you do with your time to literally understand where that's going? And not in a anecdotal kind of way, like, well, I go to work, I have to drive to work. But you literally have the ability to kind of dissect your day to look and say, well, I cook, I run these errands, I go on these tangents, I do blah, 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 blah. But you could detail and assign a specific time. Hey, of these 24 hours, how can I account for what I'm doing in that day? Understanding what do I literally do with my time? The third thing may seem like a curveball, but follow me. Identify your goals. Goals with time, goals, period. Your goals in life. Let's sit down and think about, write down, what are our goals? I know I have goals. And as I sit even here now and have this conversation, I need to sit down and refresh my list. I've had some changes in my life and my goals have shifted. So I need to take an opportunity, take the time to sit down and write out what are my current goals based upon where I am right now. what are my current goals? I want to understand what my goals are. And the reason why I want to understand what my goals are is because when I understand what my goals are, then I can make better decisions for me about what I'm going to do with my time, which is valuable. So, what's number 4? Reassess how you use your time. So, I know the value of time. So, I see the importance of taking the time to understand how I use my time. I know my goals, and now based upon my goals, I want to reassess how I utilize my time. And so that may mean that I'm making some changes, I'm shifting. If you can do this in a written format, that's going to be great. I have something I'll share with you at a later date, but right now we're going to keep it real basic. I want to, maybe it's just as simple as saying, I spend too much time picking my nose. The reason why I use this example, because I hope most of you guys are not just sitting there picking your nose. So no one feels attacked or isolated that, man, she keeps talking about that thing that's me. So let's talk about picking your nose. I don't want to spend as much time picking my nose. So, okay, I'm going to reduce that time there. And now I have more time to read. Maybe that's one of my goals and something I'm trying to accomplish, or spend time with my family. So I don't need to be in private picking my nose. I can come out and with clean hands, hang out with the kids and the mister. So maybe that's a part of what you're trying to do, but reassess how you're using your time. I already understand how it's being used from step 2, but now I can say, okay, I do like that. I don't like that. And you can shift and make the necessary adjustments to be more satisfied with how you're utilizing your time. And step 5, circle back to your goals often and calibrate on how you use your time to ensure that you're not wasting your time. It's one thing to have an idea in mind of what you want to accomplish, but then to hold yourself accountable, to go back and make sure that those things align. One of the reasons why I struggle with time so much is because step 5 is my greatest area for improvement. For me to actually circle back and something is in writing, but if I look back on my day or even my morning, is there a chance for me to calibrate and shift to say, hey, I'm a little off target here? Or, you know what, things are going well, I'm on track, and I am making good use of my time. I'll be satisfied at the end of the day and not just tired or wishing that there were more hours in the day. So, time, it's fleeting. That is true. But just like everything in life, we have a choice with what we get to do with our time. And for me, I am going to start making wiser decisions of what I do with my time. But because I already understand the value of time, I know how I spend my time. And in some cases, that is avoiding the things on my goal list for various reasons. But I can assess how I'm spending my time and make sure that my goal list is up to date, because I have it, but I need to make sure that it's current. So I have a fresh list of goals to ensure that I can allot my time and utilize those opportunities to reach my goals, but that I'm frequently checking back, not once a month. Maybe it's at the end of the day. Depending upon where you are in being cognizant of how you use your time, you might want to circle back midday and say, for me, today, I was able to look and say, okay, I'm doing pretty good in terms of what I've laid out about how to use my time and what I'm actually executing. So I'm taking advantage of these opportunities and my day is going well. That's where I'm at, because time is just kind of so frustrating right now. But it can't be that, not any longer. So I made that assessment. So you have your goals and then you reassess how you use your time. This afternoon, I actually tweaked something because I decided to record instead of sticking to my exact schedule. But based upon my goals, I was comfortable making that shift. And I'm confident that at the end of today, that I'll be happy with the ways that I utilize my time. But again, the step 5 is to reassess often so that you know exactly where you are in terms of targeting that. And all of this, 5 simple, not easy, but simple steps, helps us get to a spot where in a day, we don't have to think about what we could have, would have, or should have. We can just make adjustments because we're shifting our perspective. We understand the value of time, and we are being much more intentional about how we utilize our time. And now, mind you, when we talked about goals, I never said what your goals should be. That's your heart and your vision, your eyes, where you want that to go. So you want to make sure that your goals align with something that you want to do. For example, if I'm picking like weight loss as one of my goals, but I'm not interested at the moment, I'm not going to do well with my time because I don't really care about this goal. If it's something someone else has for me or what I think my goal should be, it makes it that much harder to stick to it. But for me, finding not necessarily balance, because I believe balance is a myth when you look at your time, but we'll use it for this conversation. But finding that balance in my life of wearing all of my hats, wife, mom, employee, friend, sister, so on and so on and so on. But when you look at all of that, I want to make sure I have that right balance so that the things that matter most, my family, that I'm not neglecting there and focusing on something that's not as important or not as important in this moment. So time is very important. One of my struggles, as I kindly share, but hopefully today, the things that I share, they help you see time in a new way and make you want to take advantage and be more intentional about the opportunities that you have to give God glory with the life that you've been blessed to give. Well, that's it for today. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. You can always go back, listen to other episodes if you missed any, but be sure to like, share, and comment on this very episode. I greatly appreciate your engagement there. And if you haven't, be sure to subscribe. Fresh new content dropping every Tuesday. And I love hanging out with you. So journey along with me and make sure you meet me every Tuesday on your favorite podcast platform or on YouTube. Thank you again for joining me. And remember, God has more for me. He has more for you. So let's get it. Take care.